You know, they had a year to forget last year. They went 3-8. My alma mater, Columbus, had one to forget as well. They did not win a game last year, but this year, Provine has the #1 wide receiver in the state. Check this out. Sports Illustrated boldly predicted in 2014 that the Houston Astros would win the World Series in 2017. Yeah, folks, this is a 2014 cover from 3 years ago here in the sports office, where it's going to be very busy over the next couple of weeks with the MSU men and women advancing to the postseason. Last night, the MSU women beat Oklahoma State. Ray, you know, it's one of those things that's difficult to understand. During the entire Belk Bowl, it rained. Now the game is over, not a drop of rain in sight. However, when the field conditions were nasty and visibility was low, it did not affect Mississippi State's offense or quarterback Dak Prescott. Michael Jordan had the honor of welcoming his rival and friend Kobe Bryant into the Basketball Hall of Fame. We've got over a dozen games ready for you tonight, and we're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything you would expect from the gridiron. And we're going to start things off with our game of the week. There's been a lot of great moments, but none are going to be greater than when the Bulldogs finally return home as national champions after going to Omaha and winning that tournament, the College World Series, and taking out another SEC foe, Vanderbilt, on their way to do so. Yes, ladies, having a little bit of tea this morning here in the newsroom, and Alex Morgan had a little bit yesterday as the U.S. women defeated Europe into the World Cup. A 4th of July celebration early for the U.S. women's soccer team. And Coach Reed says her team has a full schedule today. She says once they get to Birmingham, they're going to practice, and then they're going to get something to eat, watch a movie, and stay off their feet and get ready for Friday's game. The Combine runs through March 4th with the NFL Draft coming up next month, and you can see that right here on 16 WAPT. Now, switching gears now into some college basketball. The ladies wrapping up the regular season last night. Tonight, the Jackson Academy came into the game with a very good game plan on offense and on defense. However, Jackson Prep had their weapon back on the field tonight. After missing 3 games, running back Jerian Ely was back. All right, turning now to Super Regional Sunday. Mississippi State looking for a sweep of Notre Dame, and Ole Miss trying to avoid elimination out in Tucson. The SEC announced that they are going to be opening up the SEC baseball tournament to even more fans over at the Hoover Met. They haven't said exactly how many fans they are going to be allowing in. They're going to evaluate that on a day-to-day basis. A former Mississippi State football player is facing a lawsuit. Fletcher Cox is accused of seducing someone else's wife. As a former college football player, I know playing through injuries and pain is a part of most sports, always has been. The pressure to win has never been higher. And with opioids being used more and more to treat pain, neither have athletes. According to the Journal of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons are the 3rd leading prescribers of opioid medication. Clinics like Mississippi Sports Medicine provides coverage for 6 area colleges and over 40 area high schools. If a Metro athlete gets injured or has to have surgery, MSM is where they go, and it is their job to get the athlete healthy and ready to play as soon as possible.
After surgery and you have incisional pain and you're trying to work through physical therapy and get your motion back, you certainly need an opiate, because if you can take an opiate and it helps you push through the pain, you're more likely to have a good result.
Insurance company Blue Cross Blue Shield is working with physicians around the state, asking them to reassess their practices when it comes to prescribing opioids, especially in young adults.
There is a carnage in Mississippi due to opioids and the misuse of opioids, and most of those opioids come from a prescription written by a physician or provider's pen. We just ask them to be responsible.
We're very careful with the number one, the amount we give them. We don't usually give children or teenagers enough to abuse.
Injuries are unavoidable in contact sports like football, wrestling, and soccer, which adds to the growing opioid problem. Physicians are coordinating more with parents and coaches on how to monitor the drug's use and check for signs of abuse.
If there's any problems there, usually we can uncover those, and if we do uncover some problems, we usually get help from psychological standpoint, from an addiction treatment standpoint. But yeah, we absolutely educate coaches as well as parents.
But before you go pulling your kids out of sports, a recent study found teen athletes are actually less likely to misuse prescription opioids than teens who don't participate in sports or exercise regularly. But that does not mean it can't or won't happen.
We don't want to fix somebody's problem for them to develop another problem, such as addiction down the road. At the end of the day, if we give them another problem, then we haven't really helped them.
We do not want to be in the exam room with the doctor. It's up to the doctor, the nurse practitioner, to prescribe the medicines. We just want them to think about what they're doing.
And as for why student athletes are less likely to misuse opioids, in a study by Journal Pediatrics, researchers say the athletes are doing something they enjoy and drugs seem less appealing. Another factor might be the positive social interaction that comes with participating in sports. Back to you.
Lampkin Butts, Wesley Walls, and Parks Johnson.
It's Pro-Am Day at the Sanderson Farms Championship. A day where top pros are paired with amateurs for a round of golf. 2009 U.S. Open champ Lucas Glover teed off early Wednesday morning at 7. Former Ole Miss tight end and NFL star Wesley Walls was in the group with him.
Well, Lucas Glover, I've been following him for years. I've actually played with him before. He's a friend, and to be able to come out this morning and play golf with him here in Mississippi, I said, welcome to Mississippi. He's been here several times. He's played in this event before, but it's going to be a great day.
The group behind them saw last year's Sanderson Farms champion Cameron Champ teeing off alongside former Southern Miss and NFL quarterback Reggie Collier.
Of course, getting a chance to play with Cameron, or I can hit it long. And that's what this thing is all about. So I feel like it's a great opportunity for me just to experience.
Cameron was not the only champ on the course. Aubrey Armstrong is the 2019 Children's Miracle Network Hospital champion.
Get in here, give me a hug. I'm a hugger. What's your name?
I'm Aubrey and I'm 15.
She followed the group for a few holes and got a chance to get up close and personal with some of the world's best golfers.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you play sports? What do you do for fun?
For fun, I like to play dress up with my sisters.
When I wear pink on Sunday, maybe it'll be for you this year.
Awesome.
What do you think of that?
I like this.
Awesome.
It was a relaxing day out on the course Wednesday. That's by design. Pro-Am Day is an opportunity to have fun on the course before the pressure kicks up Thursday. Marcus Hunter, 16 WAPT News. Here in the sports office, where it's going to be very busy over the next couple of weeks with the MSU men and women advancing in the postseason. Last night, the MSU women beat Oklahoma State to advance to the Sweet 16. The Bulldogs only had a 1-point lead at halftime, but they had a big second half and fourth quarter and pulled away for a 15-point win. Sports director Josh Jackson was in Starkville for the final game at the Hump for a special group of seniors.
WAPT News.
And you can continue to follow Josh Jackson and the Mississippi State Bulldogs on WAPT.com and our social media sites as we cover the road to the championship. All right, so after their thrilling buzzer beater to beat Baylor in the National Invitation Tournament, the Mississippi State men's team is one win away from playing in Madison Square Garden. The Bulldogs will play Louisville tonight at 8 o'clock, the winner advancing to the NIT Final Four. The Cardinals were considered one of the biggest NCAA tournament snubs after their head coach Rick Pitino's firing amid a recruiting scandal. All right, new Ole Miss head basketball coach Kermit Davis arrived in Oxford yesterday, and he arrived to a very warm welcome. Coach Davis getting to the Oxford airport Monday morning along with his family. The 58-year-old takes over after more than 15 years at Middle Tennessee State. The Leakesville, Mississippi native takes over for Andy Kennedy, who resigned in February after nearly 12 years in Oxford. Coach Davis calling Ole Miss his dream job. Monday's ceremony included a pep rally for the new head coach. It is 5:36 now, and Mississippi baseball players were on full display in this year's MLB draft. Like the experts predicted, Out of all of the local talent, it was a Mississippi State Bulldog who was the first selected and got picked in the first round. The College World Series' most outstanding player, Will Bednar, was selected 14th overall to the San Francisco Giants. Shortly after that, at number 19 overall, Ole Miss pitcher Gunnar Hoagland was selected to the Toronto Blue Jays. Hoagland might have gone a little earlier if it was not for surgery he needed earlier this season. No other players from Mississippi have been drafted so far. And last night was Game 3 of the NBA Finals. In the first two games, the Phoenix Suns star Devin Booker out of Moss Point High School was dominant against the Milwaukee Bucks. But in Game 3, the former Tiger had just 10 points in 29 minutes, and it wasn't his night. However, it was for former MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak dropped 41 points. The Bucks beat Phoenix 120-100, which means that we are at least guaranteed a Game 5. So one more game in Milwaukee Wednesday night before that series heads back to Phoenix Saturday. And you can watch all of those games right here on 16 WAPT.